You're watching Local 44 Morning Brew, local news that matters.
I thought this one line here was particularly clever, don't you think?
It's wonderful. I love his writing. And Dorothy Parker as well. Caustic wit, you know?
Caustic wit is my religion.
I can't carry it off. You certainly can.
Doesn't help too much in the relationship department.
I'm sure that's not true. Okay, should we settle up?
Yeah.
I know. Cash. This has my number, well, the number of the store. If you're ever in the neighborhood and, you know, want to get a drink or a coffee sometime.
Sounds good. I'd like that.
It's such a unique role.
It is. I am fascinated by your reactions because I was frustrated that's the clip they chose.
Oh, really?
But should we tell everyone what the movie is first?
Yeah.
Yes. This is, well, first of all, this is Julia Swift.
Yes, if you didn't
First
know.
and foremost, it's Friday, and we're
Yes.
doing our movie review.
And we have Can You Ever Forgive Me?
So this movie is about a writer, Lee Israel, who wrote an Estee Lauder biography. She wrote classic biographies of strong Hollywood women, and people stopped buying them. And so she was struggling, and so she turned to, she found a letter that was written by a famous author, and she decided she could start writing like Fanny Brice and Noel Coward. And so she started faking famous letters.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And selling them. It's a true story. And it's written by Nicole Holofcener, who is one of my favorite writer-directors. And she was originally supposed to direct it, and then I'm not quite sure why, but she didn't direct it. And Marielle Heller did, who was a Sundance directing and screenwriting fellow. And none of that really matters because it's really Melissa McCarthy's film.
Right.
Like, it's Melissa McCarthy's film, but it does matter. The script is so beautiful. But that clip does not really give you a sense of the film. I feel like the studio gave us that clip because they were like, let's put in the one thing that gives a hint that there might be some romance.
Got it.
Right.
And there is no romance in this. That's not what this is about. This is about a frustrated, lonely woman who can't find her voice in her writing and finds her voice by imitating Dorothy Parker on paper.
Right.
You know, she really finds who she is, and she finds what friendship is and how you get along in the world when you're alone. And it was beautiful. I absolutely bought Melissa McCarthy in this very unusual role for her. It's drama. There are some funny points, but the funny points, as she says, are very Dorothy Parker caustic wit kind of moments.
Right.
And it's really, so it's about her friendship with her friend who helped her pull off these heists. Really, they were, right? And I don't want to give too much away about what happens. But I will say that it was based on a true story, and in the end, the author kind of finds her voice.
Wow.
So in that way, you know, it made me want to go home and write.
Oh, yeah, you're inspired.
I was.
love
It was very inspiring.
Yeah.
It was beautifully acted. It felt like a love letter to New York City. And even though it took place in the 80s, late 80s, it felt timeless, that timeless New York. And just Melissa McCarthy definitely going to be nominated.
Oh,
and
it's so exciting.
really
Yeah,
hope
she's so
Nicole Hoffelsner, I'm so bad.
Wow.
Hoffelsner.
That's her own
She has a hard name.
Very
but she's very, who also, by the way, has The Land of Steady Habits on Netflix right now, which is doing really well. So she's in a moment as well. I hope she gets nominated. But if you're in the mood for a very intelligent, thoughtful, layered, sweet, definitely award-winning film, and you want to see a different side of
awesome.
Melissa McCarthy,
Yeah.
this is
I had my eye on this one, so I was very
really
interested.
inspiring.
Wow.
How much does that say about her, too, as an actress?
Right. To be able to do, you know, go from the comedy that she does to this
Bridesmaids
role.
to this,
Completely
right?
different.
It's unbelievable. It's just so cool.
And
I
she
think.
pulls it off 100%.
Awesome.
for her.
Oh, well, that was a rave review, I'd say.
Yes,
I'm excited. I want to see this one
Cool.
for sure.
All right,
Yay,
well,
thank
go out
you.
and see it. If you're interested, you should be. We'll be right back.
You're watching Local 44 Morning Brew, local news that matters.